For today's STEAM and Stories, I wanted to share The Most Magnificent Thing by Ashley Spires. This is a great book about being creative and using your imagination. The Most Magnificent Thing. This is a regular girl and her best friend in the whole wide world. They do all kinds of things together. They race, they eat, they explore, they relax. She makes things and he unmakes things. Do you have a friend like that who might knock down your towers that you built? They might be a pet or a younger sibling. One day, the girl has a wonderful idea. She is going to make the most magnificent thing. Do you know what the word magnificent means? It's kind of a long word. It means great or amazing, something very special, something that makes you say, wow. She knows just how it will look. She knows just how it will work. All she has to do is make it, and she makes things all the time. Easy peasy. First, she hires an assistant. He looks very professional with his bow tie, doesn't he? Next, they gather their supplies. They set up somewhere out of the way and get to work. Do they look like they're actually out of the way? Not really. The sidewalk might not be the best place to work. The girl tinkers and hammers and measures, while her assistant pounces and growls and chews. When she is finished, she steps back to admire her work. She walks around one side, and her assistant examines the other side. It doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. It doesn't feel right either. They are shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even kind of sort of okay. It is all wrong. The girl tosses it aside and gives it another go. It's good that she's trying again, isn't it? She smooths and wrenches and fiddles. Her assistant circles and tugs and whacks. When she is finished, she stands up and takes a long look at it. Her assistant gives it a nudge with his paw. The thing is still wrong. So she decides to try again. The girl saws and glues and adjusts. She stands and examines and stares. She twists and tweaks and fashions. She fixes and straightens and studies. She tries all different ways to make it better. She makes it square. She makes it round. She gives it legs. She adds an antenna. She makes it fuzzy. She makes it long, short, rough, smooth, big, small. One even smells of stinky cheese, but none of them are magnificent. Her hard work attracts a few admirers, but they don't understand. They can't see the magnificent thing that she has in her mind. So she gets mad. Have you ever felt like that? When something you're working on just isn't turning out quite right? It can be really frustrating, can't it? The angrier she gets, the faster she works. She smashes the pieces into shapes. She jams the parts together. She pummels the little bits in. Her hands feel too big to work, and her brain is too full of all the not right things. If only the thing would just work. She looks really frustrated, doesn't she? She just wants it to work the way she was imagining. Crunch. Uh-oh. The pain starts in her finger, then it rushes up to her brain, and she explodes. It is not her finest moment. There she is. I'm no good at this. I quit, she says. Her assistant suggests a walk. You see him there with his leash? It's not much help at first. But then, before long, she starts to feel different. They see some balloons. They get a treat. Bit by bit, the mad gets pushed out of her head. Going for a walk and getting some fresh air is always a good way to deal with our emotions. As they stroll along, she comes across the first wrong thing she made. The bad feelings are about to start all over again, but then she notices something surprising. There are some parts of the wrong things that are really quite right. The bolts on one, the shape on another, the wheel to seat ratio of the next. There are all sorts of parts that she likes. She's discovering things she likes about each one, isn't she? By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the thing magnificent. She gets to work. She works carefully and slowly, tinkering, hammering, twisting, fiddling, gluing, painting. Her assistant makes sure there are no distractions. One neighbor said, "This is the perfect thing to ward off bears." This neighbor says, "This will stop that leak." This little boy says, "This one's all wet." The afternoon fades into evening. Finally, she finishes, and she alerts her assistant. What is this thing that she's made? It looks like lots of people are finding the other things useful, aren't they? The pair take a good long look. It leans a little to the left, and it's a bit heavier than expected. The color could use a bit of work too, but it's just what she wanted. They climb aboard and take it for a spin. They are not disappointed because it really is the most magnificent thing. The end.